All right, let's talk about some aftermarket focused news, all right? So Valentino Balboni, famous former Lamborghini test driver. I think his replacement's name was Max Venturi or something. They're really good at finding people with great names. You know, imagine a Lamborghini Aventador Max Venturi, or a Venturi anything really. Sorry, there's bugs everywhere. He is also, you know, his name is associated with like the exclusive exhaust systems offered on the Aventador SV. Well, in case you didn't know, you can also get an exhaust system for the SVJ, and now you can get an exhaust system for the STO. I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make to the actual note of the Huracan. So I get the impression it's very hard to change the exhaust note of the Huracan without messing with the headers. And even then, it's hard to tell, but you know, might have been able to work his magic and do something kind of cool. Obviously, I feel like there's gonna be a limited run of these exhaust systems, so if you've got an STO or an SVJ, it might be worth picking up. Because you might be able to run that exhaust system with a turbo kit, I'm not sure. Because I don't know where the turbos typically go in those cars, but you know. So, you know, could be really cool. I have no idea how much it's gonna cost though. It's gonna be outrageously expensive. Because it's usually full titanium, handmade, and all that kind of stuff. Up next, are you willing to pay $450,000 for an R32 GTR? No? Me neither. But you can, and you can do this by buying the Built by Legends R32 GTR. Matt Farah of The Smoking Tire did a great job covering it and why it costs so much. It's using a lot of really good Mines goodies. It was stripped down to the chassis, bare metal, fully restored, rotisserie, the whole 9 yards. I can't get into it because I would be pretending to talk about something I don't completely understand. But $450,000 is a lot considering R32 GTRs now, in good condition, are usually between 50 and, I guess, 70 US dollars? 1,000 US dollars, I should say. I really don't understand how money works, apparently. $450,000, you know, that's a really expensive car. And they've just started doing the same thing with R34 GTRs. They're working on one right now. R34 GTRs. In case you forgot, Series 1 base GTRs and V-Specs all go for $130,000 to $170,000. And then if you go for the V-Spec 2s or the M-Spec NERs or whatever, you're looking at $500,000. So if you get a V-Spec R34 GTR and then you get a Built by Legends package, is it gonna be like 800 grand? What's happening is people will charge as much as they can as long as people will buy it. And when you've got a package like this, where you've broke it down, reinforced the chassis, stripped it down to the metal, there's no rust, it's showroom condition, brand new, OEM quality with, you know, Mines goodies on it. How do you argue with that? It's insane. It's like buying a house or a down payment on a Bugatti or an SVJ or a Pagani. It's a lot. The Z-Tunes used to go for, I think, $500,000 maybe 10 years ago. I don't know what they go for now. I don't want to know. If you're able to afford a Built by Legends car, you could have just bought a Z-Tune 10 years ago. So, you know, these days, if you want to be economical, you could spend 35 grand on an R34 GTT, spend, let's say 7 grand is a rough estimate, to import it to the US. Then you have to get it shipped to you from wherever it arrives at whatever port, unless if you live right by the port, in which case, lucky you. Otherwise, you'll probably have to spend, I'd have to spend like 1,500 bucks to get it transported to me. And then you've got a GTT, you can get an RB26 or an RB30, you can do the drivetrain swap. I don't know where you're gonna find a V160 transmission from an R34 GTR though. So you should probably just go with like an OS88 or something like that. You can do up the interior and it'll still cost less than an R34 GTR. Just be warned that the up badge shaming community will come after you if you put a GTR badge on that car, and they'll probably come after you anyways, because the people who own these cars and the 9-year-olds who wish they did but never will seem to have the same mentality as each other, in that if you decide to build something that you can enjoy and can actually afford, they're still gonna try and make you feel like you failed at something. So just be aware of that. Even if you don't put GTR badges on your car, they're still gonna be d***s. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't see why. I mean, Lee-Bird's RB30 powered R34 GTT looks just like a GTR. uses, I think, an East Bear kit. I think I'd be using an EP Racing on mine. I think I've said too much, but his car is great. Over 1,000 horsepower, rear-wheel drive for fun, all-wheel drive for serious stuff. Can't knock that. And he's got GTR badges on it, and who f***ing cares, man? But if you want to be extra blasphemous, get, let's say, a left-hand drive auto NA Supra with a Targa, swap in a 2JZ GTE, fine, single turbo it, but instead of getting a V160 or a V161 transmission, get the BMW M4 DCT and using a whiff, what is it called? If you want to work with whiff bits, you can put a DCT 7-speed transmission in your A80 Supra. That's gonna piss off a lot of purists, all right? But here's the thing, you can still shift, you can put it in auto when you're in traffic, you can have tons and tons of power, and downshifts will still sound great, and upshifts will be perfect every time. You line up a DCT Supra with 1,000 horsepower, right suspension, right tires, all that sort of stuff, and then you line up with a 6-speed manual Supra set up the same way. Who do you think's gonna win? The DCT is gonna have DCT launch control. The shifts are gonna be faster than a human could possibly do. It's gonna be like racing against a sequential. But lastly, in case you didn't know, even some of the most mundane aftermarket parts that you can get for more exotic cars or even supercars can be extremely expensive, all right? So like the headers on my E46 M3 that are gonna show up, American Racing 6-to-1 long tube headers. Those are about 3,000 bucks. Right? Headers for like an Aventador or just the exhaust system for an Aventador, that would probably run you $20,000, okay? Bearing that in mind, there are people who will build exotics the same way we build our Honda Civics. Everything will be touched, everything will be changed, there will be creativity, and it will just be insane fit and finish. So basically not a SEMA build. Alex Troy has decided to make GTA characters jealous with his Huracan 580-2, converted to look like a Super Trofeo Evo race car, using the genuine race car body kit, but he's made sure that the fit and finish on it is actually road car quality. You know, it's not janky like a race car meant to be beat up and stuff. It's got a phone charger, a wireless phone charger in the hood. It's got all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive, bearing in mind 580-2, so that probably wasn't a simple thing to do. It's got a twin turbo kit. It's got interior stuff done to it. It's got the one-off wrap with the Notatech that he, I think, pioneered. I think it's called Unicorn Pink or something like that. It's named after him or named for him. I can't remember how much it was. I'm not gonna spoil it. You'll just have to check out his video. It's a ton. Like, it's a lot more than what I thought. It's really, it's interesting because modifying a supercar, you're basically paying motorsport GT3 race car kind of prices. Because if I haven't talked about this already, the body kit used on the BMW M3 GTR is like $70,000 to $80,000 straight from BMW, if they'll give it to you. And if it'll even fit on your street chassis car, or if you even have an actual race chassis. $70,000, that's like buying a Huracan or a 458 wide body kit in full carbon from Liberty Walk. You know, the exhaust system on the race car is made of Inconel. The headers are $10,000 each. That's like buying exhaust parts for an Aventador or a Huracan or a 458 or a McLaren. That's the kind of league of stuff you're dealing with.